The great white shark, or white pointer white shark, or simply the great white, is one of our planet's most stupendous and impressive predators alive today. It is the world's largest carnivorous fish and the world's largest predatory shark. They prefer the temperate coastal waters around the world, not often found in tropical regions, with hotspots for these sharks including Guadalupe Island in Mexico, the Cape of South Africa, the Neptune Islands of South Australia, among many others are great places to experience these incredible animals. The great white has a large and robust snout, built for withstanding impacts when attacking prey. The name comes from both their size and their counter shading, which is the darker top of the shark to blend in with the shadows of deeper water, and the lighter underbelly to blend with the surface. This helps conceal the shark from its prey by breaking up its outline. This species also has bigger eyes than most sharks. This helps it see its prey. However, it does not have color vision, and they cannot identify fine details like we can with our eyes. As stated before, the great white is the largest predatory shark, with some individuals reaching 6 meters. However, it is the females that become the largest great whites, as the primary sexual dimorphism in the species is their size. Females grow far larger than the males, with males only reaching at most 4 meters. The females can weigh over a ton, with some potentially reaching 2 tons. There have been many large great whites caught in the past few centuries, but in modern times we know of a large female great white named Deep Blue, who was spotted off the island of Oahu in Hawaii. And she was initially estimated at 6.1 meters in length. However, her full recorded length and weight are often still disputed, as she was not measured upon discovery. Great whites can be found in almost all of the world's coastal oceans, but generally prefer cooler waters in temperate regions. They will not venture as far as the Arctic or Antarctica. They are an epipelagic fish, being found in the surface waters of the ocean, but there was a white shark in New Zealand that was measured diving down to 1,200 meters. Like most sharks, they lose their teeth regularly, and so regenerate and replace teeth throughout their lives. A single great white can go through over 20,000 teeth in its lifetime. Great whites are what is known as lamnid sharks, meaning they possess a special system known as countercurrent heat exchange, which uses heat produced by the muscles to warm the blood that is sent throughout the body. As great whites frequent different water conditions, this endothermy allows them to traverse oceans that are too cold for other sharks. The warmer blood also allows these sharks to hunt the fast-moving prey that they do and make quick bursts of energy to pursue it. Great whites generally feast on a variety of marine creatures, from schooling fish like tuna to marine mammals like dolphins and most notably pinnipeds. They're also no stranger to scavenging, being a frequent customer to whale carcasses. Juvenile white sharks will often stick to a smaller prey such as bottom-dwelling fish, cephalopods and smaller sharks and rays. The great white's primary strategy is approaching from below its target using counter-coloration of a dark back and light underside to blend into the background, and then shoot up like a torpedo and often rocketing out of the water, creating a dramatic breach. When attacking prey, the great white will retract its eyes back into their sockets to protect them from damage by prey. In recent years, great whites have been observed being chased off by swarming fur seals in South Africa. Great whites don't stay in the same place for long, frequenting different locations based on the abundance of prey, time of year and whether it is a breeding female. Great whites give birth to live young and so must visit special nurseries to produce between 2 and 12 pups at a time. After that, the pups will live solitary lives. Great whites travel hundreds of kilometers, with some individuals being known to have moved between different continents. Great whites have been known to migrate from the west coast of Australia around the Exmouth Gulf to the Cape of South Africa at different times of year. Being a migratory species, the great white is vulnerable to changes in its environment and to the routes at which they travel along. The great white shark is considered the most feared shark on the planet. Its reputation is mostly due to its great size, power, and interactions with humans. Over the last few centuries, the great white shark has been attributed to 351 attacks worldwide, with 59 attacks resulting in fatalities. These attacks are largely considered to have taken place due to cases of mistaken identity due to the resemblance of the silhouette of a surfer swimming on a board to the great white's favourite prey, seals, with attacks on humans undertaken in a very similar way. Many of these attacks have also been attributed to young sharks that are still figuring out what's safe to eat and tend to frequent shallower waters away from the more mature adults. Humans, however, should not be afraid of this animal, but rather respect them as an apex predator, whose domain is the ocean, and we are mere visitors into their world. Statistically, you are far more likely to be struck by lightning than attacked by a shark. Though the risk of a shark attack is statistically low, there are measures you can take to reduce this risk even further. The easiest way to reduce the risk of shark attack is to consider what time of the day you go into the ocean. Sharks hunt primarily during twilight hours around dawn and dusk. This also happens to be the time that most surfers will often go out to catch the best waves. So avoiding swimming or surfing around dawn and dusk is a simple measure to consider. Never swimming alone is another important thing to consider. If you're alone in the ocean, you're at a much higher risk of shark attack, as you're much more tempting as a prey item. Some off-the-shelf products are also available on the market that reportedly reduce the risk of shark attack. One example of such products is those sold under the brand Shark Bands. These wearable devices reportedly produce a sudden sensation for the shark due to their strong electromagnetic field, which is much higher than the signal produced by the shark's normal prey. As a result, the sharks are deterred from approaching the device and therefore the wearer. Similar techniques have also been applied to the surfboards and electrodes installed on the boards that can also take form of the fins. Shark eyes have also been put on the bottom of boards and on diver suits too, to give the sharks the false sense that we can still see them. Another strategy becoming increasingly popular is striped wetsuits and stripes on surfboards. This approach is aimed at making the swimmer and boards appear much less defensive as prey than the sharks can see, with the white breaking up what would be a solid silhouette. Remember, there are no guarantees of avoiding shark attack when undertaking activities in the ocean, such as swimming, surfing or diving, and so taking precautionary measures to reduce your risk exposure is your best defense. Please note that I do not personally endorse any products or prevention technique mentioned in this post, and encourage viewers to conduct their own research and risk assessments before undertaking recreational activities in the ocean. The greatest threat to this species and all sharks around the world is hunting them for their fins. Every year, over 100 million sharks are killed, and almost always just for their fins. After the fins are removed, the rest of the shark is simply discarded back into the sea, where without the ability to swim, they will drown. These fins are sold in many countries in Asia as a delicacy known as shark fin soup that is served at special occasions like weddings. The fins themselves don't add any taste, instead acting as texture, with the soup's taste coming from the other ingredients. Bycatch is also a major threat to sharks, with them being caught in abandoned fishing gear such as nets, line, and hooks that inevitably kill the shark unless it is removed. The great white is listed as vulnerable worldwide, but its status varies between regions, with the populations in Europe listed as critically endangered. It is estimated that there are only 3,000 to 5,000 or so individuals in existence. As top predators, sharks play a crucial role in the world's oceans, keeping fish populations in check and removing the sick, injured and decaying from the sea. Many areas around the world where sharks are absent have shown low biodiversity and overall ocean health. Shark fins themselves, that we fin them for, are potentially deadly to humans, as they contain high levels of mercury, which can cause mercury poisoning if consumed. So stopping the mass killing of sharks is for the benefit of sharks in the oceans, but also ourselves overall. But in many places around the world, sharks are protected, and the best ways to conserve sharks are learning more about them and their role in our oceans, and that they must be respected as predators. Shark diving around the world has proven a major draw for the tourism industry, giving many the opportunity to experience these incredible animals in their world. Cage diving with great whites is one of the most popular, with notable locations like Guadalupe Island off the coast of Baja, California, the Neptune Islands of South Australia, and Hansby in South Africa. Currently, the shark diving industry generates over $300 million worldwide, with this value expected to double in the coming decades. Protecting shark nurseries and hotspots is also important, as most sharks don't stay in one place, and are instead migratory, moving from place to place, and it is the destinations and their pathways that are crucial to protecting sharks. Protecting the feeding grounds and the places where they reproduce are crucial to the conservation of this species, as well as other marine animals, and allowing more people to appreciate and better understand this misunderstood creature. Great whites are easily one of the planet's most iconic animals. Their impressive size, massive teeth, and majestic presence make them one of the ocean's greatest treasures. And if we ever lost this incredible fish, the ocean would not be the same without them.